everyone, welcome back to my channel, Create with Tina. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found me, and if you're a returning visitor, thanks so much for coming back and crafting with me. This is part 4 of my One Kit So Many Ways series, and in this video I'm creating another 2-page scrapbook layout using the Watercolor in Blooms card kit. This is the final project in my very first One Kit So Many Ways series where I've been stretching one card kit into multiple projects. So in layout 1, I did the cards exactly as they were shown. In video 2, I took those same cards and I just reimagined them a little bit by adding just a little bit of cardstock and some ribbon. And then in video 3 of this series, I took the same card kit supplies and I created a 2-page scrapbook layout, 12 by 12 pages from the supplies. Now, of course, I added some 12 by 12 cardstock in for my bases, but that's about it. I love showing ideas like this because it's a reminder that card kits aren't just for cards. With a little bit of flexibility, they can be a great starting point for scrapbook pages too. And even if you don't have this exact kit, the layout concepts and design choices can easily be adapted to other kits. So this layout wraps up the Watercolor and Bloom kit and the very first run of my One Kit So Many Ways series. But again, the goal of this series is to show you how much you can really get out of a single kit. So what we're looking at here is what I have that is still left over after making 6 cards and a 2-page layout. So I have different die cut pieces that you're seeing me move around. Some of these are full die cuts that are still left over from the cards. Some are partial die cuts that I had already cut apart in making the other cards. And then I have a few extra die cuts from when I grabbed the new Greenery Lane dies and cut out some images from cardstock for the first layout I created. So when I was making that layout, I just grabbed some matching cardstock colors and cut a few of these pieces out and didn't end up using them all on the first layout. And so when I sat down, I decided I would use these in this layout. So here I am showing you the cards and where I got some of these leftover pieces from. So basically what I have is I have 2 full card fronts of 2 different styles. So I have 4 card fronts here to work with. And I'm pulling in some balmy blue 2-tone cardstock to create the base of my layouts. Everything I scrapbook, well, not everything, but most everything is 12 by 12. So of course with the card kit, you're going to have to pull in some cardstock if you want to make a layout. Now, if you didn't catch video 3 where I created the first layout, you're going to want to go back and watch it because I showed you in it. I use every part of the kit, including the cards, because with Stampin' Up! Kits, they make the cards so cute. They don't just give us naked white cards to mail these cards with, envelopes to mail the cards with, but you can use those envelopes in your layouts too. So what I'm doing is I'm just fussy cutting out the design from the envelope, and as I showed you in video 3, the hand that's holding the paper does 99% of all the work. It is rotating the image through the scissors. The hand that is holding the scissors does nothing but just slowly close. All right, so there you go. I know fussy cutting isn't fun to watch, so I did 2 envelopes and they're ready to go. Now this is one of the die cuts on the card that I hadn't used yet, and I've decided I'm just going to cut it in half. I kind of guesstimated, and that's because I know I'm going to tuck it under some elements, so it doesn't have to be exact. I just love that pretty leafy edge with the bronze foil in it. This particular kit is so great because the bronze foil adds such a beautiful accent, and it's already built into the elements of the card. So here we go. I'm going to add the card bases down and see how I like them. I really like the mosaic kind of striped the ombre look, I don't know what to call it, of that blue card base, and they had it again in the rainbow card that I used on the previous layout. But I like how that card base looks, so I'm going to focus on that. Now what I'm doing is trying to press out the crease of the card base itself. I don't have my bone folder with me, but it's okay. I'm just using the edge of a pair of scissors. So really you can improvise and use supplies you already have on hand. Of course, a bone folder is easier, but the edge of my scissors works really, really well. So I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive down on all four sides. And this is going to be the beginning of the base of my layout. So I decided I am going to add them to the middle of the page, and I'm using my ruler so that I measure down, I think I'm going to put it around 1¼ inches, and I want to line them up on both pages. So I measured the first page, but for the second page, I'm aligning the bases and doing it that way rather than measuring, so the two pages are perfectly matched. Now I had taken that other card base and I had cut it into two strips. One of the strips I cut at 2½ inches wide, and the other one I cut at 2¼ inches wide. And I did that because I did not want them to be the same size as the central focal point piece, but I also wanted them to be bold enough that you would see them. So that means I still have one full card front left over, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive to the tips of the die cuts, and I just grabbed that envelope that I had cut off at the beginning, and I'm using that to make sure I don't get adhesive on the layout. And I'm going to stick on the piece I cut out from the envelope, and you can see it's a little bit longer than the die cut, but that's okay. Envelopes are bigger than cards, otherwise you couldn't get the card in them. So I just snipped that off. So we're going to do this to both pieces. Add a little bit of the adhesive right on the edge of that die cut, just on the edge of the die cut where I want it to stick to the envelope piece. And I'm going to lay it down, and I love how this looks because it's actually a double layer. So you have the leaves coming off of the die cut, and then you have the colored leaves behind it from the envelope. And again, we're just going to snip off the overhang. There you go. And it's okay if they're not the exact same size because they aren't going to be next to each other on the layout. All right, so then what we're going to do is continue to build the layout. One thing I did ahead of time is I went ahead and added my photo placeholders to some Secret C cardstock photo mats. I do this because I don't typically scrapbook my photos on the pages on live video. My family doesn't like that if I put them out there on YouTube. So it's just easier for me to add one dot of adhesive inside of the photo placeholder and stick it on. And then when I'm ready to scrapbook my photos, I just pull that white paper off real easily and reuse it for the next video. So for privacy reasons, that's why you will rarely ever see me add photos right directly on a layout. But I do tend to take a stack of these pre-made layouts with me when I go on a retreat or when I'm on a long road trip, and I prep them ahead of time by laying photos with the particular layouts that I think will go together, and then I put them all in a big Ziploc 12 by 12 Ziploc bag, and then when I go on a retreat, I grab that bag and I am ready to scrapbook because the layouts are done and I have the photos that I think will work with it already there. And I print my own photos at home, so I do know what size I need. Okay, so now you can see how I'm using that beautiful die cut that I cut in half along with the border from the envelopes. Doesn't that look so pretty? It is just a subtle bit of accent on the page. It doesn't overwhelm the page. The focal point is still clearly all of the photos. And one thing that I talk about a lot is I tend to scrapbook 4x6, 4x4, and 3x4 photos mostly. I don't go much smaller than that, and I like printing those sizes at home, and I like to at least have 5 photos on a 2-page layout. So this is a perfect example of how I do that. Now what I've decided to do is take that same brand new textured cloud cover ribbon and create a focal point behind this journaling piece that I'm going to add. And you guys, that journaling piece is the leftover half of a die cut from video 2 when I made my own version of the cards. So I made a second version of Stampin' Up's cards, but I tweaked them a little bit. Well, I cut that die cut in half, and that's the leftover piece. So I'm going to actually use it as a little journaling spot on my layout. And I am just zigzagging some of this new ribbon right across the page. So I ran a bit of my tape runner and I laid the ribbon down, and then I will fold it back and then fold it back again. So zigzagged it across the page, and then I'm measuring it to make sure that I'm going wide enough that it will stick out of both sides of that journaling piece. But then when it's good to go, I'm going to go ahead and take the foam tape off the back of that little die cut and add it down. So one thing to note is that with these die cuts, if I am using it for journaling, I will add a lot of dimensionals on it, an excessive amount, and that's partially because when you go to write on it, it's going to press down if it doesn't have a good surface, and you're not going to get as nice of a writing area as you would if it was more supported. So I use an excessive amount of dimensionals on there, and that's just my preference. You could always, since you'll probably be scrapbooking this as you're adding your photos, you could do your journaling and then just add a few dimensionals as well. But because I scrapbook a little bit backwards, I do my layouts and then I print my photos and then I stack them all together and then I do them all in big chunks throughout the year. This is how I do it. And so now what I'm going to do is I want to pull in a little bit more of the colors that I see in that striped card base that I use back there. And so I pulled out my pretty peacock two-toned cardstock. The 8.5 by 11 cardstock is the dyed through cardstock, and it's a single solid color from Stampin' Up. But the 12 by 12 is the new two-tone, and so you get a base and a shade on each piece of cardstock. So it's like getting two pieces. And I just decided I'm going to cut them down to 11 inches because I want to add a little visual accent to the edge of my page using something I already have on hand, which is cardstock, and using something that really doesn't add any bulk to my page because I am more of a flat Stanley scrapbooker than I am a bulky multiple layers type of a girl. That's just my personal preference and how I've always been. Although many of my friends love the really super lumpy bumpy pages and they look gorgeous as well. It's just not so much my style. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding a little tear and tape to the back of these 1/4 inch strips. It's a lot easier to use tear and tape on them than to try to use my tape runner, and I'm not great with liquid glue, so it's a lot better than me trying to use the liquid glue and making kind of a mess. On the 1/2 inch strips, my tape runner works just fine, so I am adding just the tape runner to the bigger pieces. And so what I'm going to do here is just add them right to the edge of the page, and I did cut them a little bit shorter, and that is just so that I can have a little visual interest on my page. That's what I like to call it, so they're not just matchy. So the visual interest for me comes in the fact that I'm using 2 different shades of the same color, 2 different widths cut from the cardstock, and then I am adding them to the page side by side, but starting at different top and bottom of the paper. So just something I like to do. It's just a personal thing. I would love to hear in the comments if you like that look, if you've ever tried it. What do you think about maximizing your cardstock on your layouts? Just different things that I do. So there we go. Now I remembered that I have the die cuts that I had just cut extras in the last video and of course saved them. And so I think I want to add a little more punch of color to this lower cluster so that as you start the page looking at the photos, when your eyes finish the page down there at the journaling area, you're really drawn to it. You're drawn all the way across the page because there's a big focal point cluster there. So all I'm doing is layering a couple of those die cut pieces together that I cut, and then I still have a few of the punch outs from the paper pumpkin kit. So I think I'm going to add those as well and just tuck them right under that die cut piece. Super simple, super easy. So add a little bit of adhesive to the back of it, and then I am going to tuck it up and finish it with the die cut. So I hope you guys are seeing the goal of this series, because really this is, like I said, the inaugural run of my one kit so many ways, and I'm hoping to do this every month using a new kit. Sometimes it'll be a paper pumpkin kit and sometimes it won't, but the idea will always be the same. One kit, but lots of different creative ideas with it. So it's a pretty fun series. I enjoyed trying this first one in January, and we will see how it all goes. So now I thought, oh, let's just pop the ends of the one die cut up a little bit, because I had already popped up the actual journaling piece. And then I remembered I still have some of those bronze sequins. So I wanted to put those around the page to bring out the bronze foiling that are in the two die cuts on the left and right edge, as well as the journaling piece. So if you've enjoyed this series, I'd love for you to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel and lets me know you want to see more of these. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next kit I work with. And if you have a favorite project from this series, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which one inspired you the most. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.